Hey guys, I'm Brian Clark and welcome to my channel. This is a fairly new channel, and on this channel the content revolves around mysteries, missing people, conspiracy theories, aliens, things like that, kind of like creepy and strange stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, when you're done watching this video, please go check out my other videos. Granger Taylor was born on October 7, 1948 and lived with his mother and stepfather in Duncan, British Columbia up until the time of his disappearance. Granger Taylor was a mechanical genius who dropped out of school in grade 8 to work at mechanical shops in his town. Granger was so good at building, rebuilding, and fixing mechanical objects that at the age of 14 he had completely revamped an abandoned train that he had found in a forest to absolutely perfect condition. It was also said by Granger's family and friends that he could fix absolutely anything mechanical. As Granger got older, his interest in restoring mechanical objects mainly focused on aircrafts, and he even went ahead to get his pilot's license. Soon though, Granger became bored with aircrafts and started looking more into aliens and UFOs, and it is said that his interest in UFOs quickly turned into an obsession. Granger's stepfather and his mother said that he was so into UFOs that he knew absolutely every single thing that there possibly was to know about them, and he had read every book that was out at the time on UFOs and aliens. On a side note, quickly, Granger's real father had passed away in a swimming incident when Granger was very, very young, so the only real father figure that he had in his life was his stepfather, and they were very, very close. Eventually, Granger had built his own UFO, mimicking the ones that he had seen in books, and he had built this UFO completely out of scrap metal, and the only thing that Granger didn't understand about UFOs was how to get his off the ground flying in the air. But after building this UFO, friends and family of Granger said that it was rare to see him outside of it, and he'd even furnished his UFO with a toaster oven, a television, and like a mattress or a couch. One day after building his UFO, Granger had come to his friends and said that he had been in contact with extraterrestrial beings. And he had said that the communication was telekinetic, and he couldn't see them or hear them physically, but he knew that they were communicating with him. Another side note is that it is really actually a common report that people who claim to be in contact with extraterrestrial beings do claim that most of the time it is a telekinetic communication. Granger claimed that these aliens that he was in contact with lived outside of the Milky Way, and that they were teaching him how to get his UFO off of the ground, and even promised to take him to their planet. One day, Granger had gone to his best friend and told him that these extraterrestrials had invited Granger on a trip through the solar system, and that he would be leaving later that month. So of course this friend said, like, yeah, okay, when are you leaving and where are you leaving from? And Granger had said that the aliens had told him that this would be disclosed to him last minute, and he was not to share this information with anybody. The friends that Granger was sharing this information with said that they thought that Granger was just having very, very vivid dreams, and they didn't think that it was going to lead anywhere or nothing would come of it. But Granger was so sure about this trip that he would be taking that he had himself somewhat of a going away party and took all of his friends out for a night on the town. One day, Granger had come into the house while his mother was away in Hawaii and sat down with his stepfather and told him that he was so grateful for everything that he had done for him, and told him how grateful he was to have him in his life. And when asked about this, the stepfather said he didn't think much of it because they had heart-to-heart kind of chats often, and he just thought that this one was kind of like that, and he didn't look into it too much because, like I said before, they did have these conversations often, so he didn't think anything of it. A little while later, Granger was seen eating at a diner in his hometown of Duncan, British Columbia. Now, at the time that he was eating at this diner, the town of Duncan was under extreme storm watch. Something that the woman who had been serving Granger had noticed was that he was not dressed properly for the storm. But besides that, she said there was absolutely nothing odd about him. He ate his dinner, paid his bill, and then he went on his way. But unfortunately, that would be the last time that anybody would ever see Granger Taylor. Granger disappeared on November 29th, 1980, at the age of 32 from Duncan, British Columbia. He was last seen in his 1974 pale Dyson blue pickup truck, and left a very, very odd note behind for his parents. This note read, "Dear Mother and Father, I have gone away to walk aboard an alien spaceship, as reoccurring dreams assured a 42-month interstellar voyage to explore the vast universe, then return. I am leaving behind my possessions to you, as I will no longer require the use of any. Please use the instruction in my will as a guide to help. Love, Granger." And with that, Granger left behind all of his personal belongings, including all of the money in his bank account. And also, all of Granger's mechanical inventions, including his UFO, still remain on the parents' property. The only things missing along with Granger were the clothes that he had on his back and his truck, which he was last seen in. Some places also mention that on the back of this letter that Granger had left for his parents, there was a map, but they couldn't make it out and it never ended up leading anywhere. But I don't know if this is true because it only says it some places and it is not confirmed. Also following this, looking at Granger's will, his family noticed that he had changed the word deceased in his will to departed. On the night of Granger's disappearance, there was a very odd storm that took place in Duncan, British Columbia, and the next following days, the town was under a very odd, dark haze. Something else that I've read multiple times about this case and that sticks out to me is the place that Granger was believed to have gone missing is actually a hotspot for UFO sightings. May 29th, 1984 would have been exactly 42 months since Granger had left for his intergalactic journey, and his parents eagerly awaited for their son's return. But unfortunately, Granger Taylor has never returned home, and the police have zero evidence of what could have possibly happened to him. It is reported online that a little while ago on Mount Sicker, where Granger is believed to have gone missing, particles from a car and bone fragments were found as if an explosion had gone off. And it is hard to find exact information on this, but it is believed mostly widely across the internet that this is actually a hoax. But where this hoax actually generated from is that some people believe that Granger was mentally unstable and he thought that if he set himself up in an explosion, it would launch him into space. Now, I personally don't believe with this theory, as Granger Taylor was reported to be a very, very, very intelligent guy. Plus, he was really, really into aircrafts and UFOs. So he would know that setting yourself up with an explosion would not launch you into space. Also, another note here is that his family and friends who he was really, really close with say that there was no signs that Granger Taylor was having any kind of mental break at the time that he'd gone missing. Another theory is that Granger Taylor was on LSD at the time that he went missing, and he'd actually gone up to the mountain to blow off dynamite to get the aliens' attention so that they knew where to pick him up. Although this theory can be proven wrong, as before Granger Taylor had driven off in his truck, he was actually at a diner eating, and I don't think that when you're on LSD you have an appetite at all. And the use of LSD actually causes you to act disoriented, and the waitress, who was the last person to have seen Granger, said that he wasn't acting odd at all under any circumstances. Another theory is that Granger had an elaborate plan to take his own life but didn't want anybody to come looking for him or worry, so he came up with this crazy theory that he was gonna go on an intergalactic journey with aliens. And the last theory, of course, is that Granger Taylor is actually out in space on an intergalactic journey with extraterrestrial beings. Now, for what I believe, the logical side of me really wants to believe that Granger Taylor possibly could have had a psychotic break or taken his own life, but the other side of me wants to believe that Granger Taylor is out in space right now on some interstellar journey. I mean, 42 months here could be different from 42 months there, and it could not even be up yet. Or maybe he's really, really enjoying himself and decided that he doesn't want to come back. In this case, I really have no idea what could have possibly happened, but regardless, this is one of the strangest cases that I have ever looked into, and I would really like to know what you guys think happened to Granger Taylor, so please comment that down below. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also comment below of what you'd like to see in my future videos. Also, now that you're done this video, please go check out the other videos on my channel, and if you like them, please subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!